That's right. There are two of us. You think that could happen, right? There were more of us, but all the rest of them got hit by a car and fell in a pothole. You know? It's New Orleans. You know, not all of us are going to make it. Only the strong swimmers. But so I'm having a great time in your city. You're very nice people. People are very concerned about me and these potholes. I met an older man last night, and I was making my way. I was walking through the street, and he said, you know, be careful. I fell, and I broke my back 3 months ago, and I was in the hospital. And I said, you know, I appreciate it, but compared to me, you're kind of a rookie, you know? Because this old man, he's in his 70s, he's having trouble walking for 10 years tops. I was born this way, I've been doing this for 25 years, I know where all the potholes are, okay? I can do this with my eyes closed. Or at least I can claim that insurance check once I fall with my eyes closed. Either way, it works. I have bad friends. That person you just saw, that was just a person I met at the bar and buying them a drink later. It's a transactional thing. I have bad friends because they like to do all-terrain activities.
Ow!
I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm not an all-terrain kind of guy. I'm barely terrain. I'm like shopping mall, you know? That's the stuff I'm built for. If there's a crack on the sidewalk, that's not just a problem for your mother's back, that's a problem for me. You know, let's rally behind that real quick. But I was here with my friends, and they all wanted to jump into this raging river, right? And I was like, oh, I want to jump in this river too. And my friend said, Nick, if you jump in this river, you'll die. And I said, you know what's good right now is the vibes, okay? You killed this very lovely time you were supposed to be having, you know? So what? I'm not going to be able to swim. I can float, you know? I can float. I can float briefly before I float away, but you know, life is short. You gotta take what you can get, you know? Yeah. Only Keith got the life is short. I wonder why. I wonder why. I've been disabled for a long time. Dating with a disability is interesting because people are always trying to relate to me. You don't have to do that. We can just do something else, you know? We could just watch a movie and that'll be fine too. And I was watching this movie with someone, and she turns to me in the middle of the movie and she goes, you know, I just want you to know that being with you reminds me of the time that I broke my leg. And I just want to say that. And I said, I'm going to stop you right there. Okay? Because this movie has end credits. You cannot talk right now. You know what I mean? I thought I was going to a movie, you know. If that's an activity that, you know, I don't have to do any physical activity, and you don't have to say any stupid shit to me. So that was supposed to be a win-win. We're supposed to get that in the bag, and you messed this up. Okay? You messed this up. Anybody single out here? Are you on the app, sir? Very excited, sir.
Not on the app.
Bless your soul. You're doing it all. You're giving people quarters. You're like, you don't have a quarter? Here's a quarter from me. Now you have to talk to me, you know? You have to trap people old style, you know? We just trap people by process of elimination. You know, like, you're just the last person you have to talk to, you know? Well, I'm on the app. I'm on this app. It's a different app. It's an app called Field. Anybody ever heard of Field? Yes? No? My two friends heard Field from Brooklyn. I guess it's a Brooklyn thing. You don't worry about it. But I'll explain it to you. Field is a sexual preference app. Now I know what you're thinking. what kind of sexual preference is he into? And to be honest with you, I'm not that kinky. I just know that kinky people would be into me, you know? I just know that's just a lot of the group of people that I attract, you know? They see the wheels and they go, you know, let's see what he can do with that thing, you know, let's give him a shot. So, and so when I say it's all about the friction, it's all about how you apply friction. But I started out on field when I was relatively new to having sex, so I didn't know a lot. And so I would get into funny situations. I was talking to someone, and she said, you have a nice smile, you have a nice face. I'd like to sit on it, you know? But will it kill you then, you know? And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, I don't know the answer to that question, and I don't really care, you know? I don't really care because, you know, that's what this app is about, you know? It's about exploration, and, you know, I get to try out something new, and you get to feel what it's like to drain the life out of someone with your pussy, you know? So we all win in the end, you know? We all make it to the finish line. People are out here playing the field, and I'm dying in the field of battle. That's how serious I am about this. I have a roommate. I live in New York. We have a lot of roommates. Don't be concerned. And I was talking to my roommate, and she said, we were talking, and I was telling her that I couldn't jump. Jumping is not something that's on my arsenal, you know? And she was like, oh, I never realized that you couldn't jump. And I said, if I could jump, you would know, you know? I would be really annoying about it, actually. I would make it my whole personality is that I could jump. In fact, I would be TikTok famous, you know? I would be the jumping TikTok disabled guy, you know? And I'd have my haters. I'd have people be like, he's faking it! He's faking it for the club. And then my supporters would come out and be like, no, it's the power of Jesus. And I would sell 1 million tote bags and be rich. That's how the game is played, folks. In case you were wondering, it's all in the tote bags. It's all in the tote bags. I have a younger sister. Anybody a younger sibling? Anybody have siblings? That sucks. They're the people I came here with, and I hate the younger siblings. So I'm just stuck professional people that I hate. I hate younger siblings because I'm an older sibling, right? And that's just the cycle of life. You know, when you're an older sibling, you get replaced by your younger sibling. And it's a hard adjustment because they're a baby, right? And babies need more things than, you know, a toddler or whatever, the older sibling, just by the nature of being a baby. And so when my sister was born, she needed to be fed, she needed her ass wiped, you know, she needed help moving around. But I needed the exact same things. So we're not really older, younger, we're basically twins, you know? We're just the same. I never got replaced. We're just fighting, you know, we're just fighting for who's the better twin, which I think is a better deal, you know? It would be in certain situations where she would be really annoying, right? She would try to annoy me, and I would hit her, which is, you're not supposed to do that. I don't know if you know that you're not supposed to hit your sibling. And so she would do the greatest trick in the book as a younger sibling. She would tell on me, right? Game, set, match. It's over for me, right? She'd go, hey, Dad, Nick hit me. And he would look at her and he said, you know, if you're close enough for a Nick to hit you, that's your problem. You know? So, you know, I don't know what kind of classic sibling, but I'm the best kind of classic sibling there is. You know, I have diplomatic immunity sibling. That's the best kind of class there is. All right, y'all. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.